Okay, so part two of the welcome intro. My free version of Screencast-O-Matic limits me to 15-minute recordings. Um, so I know I was talking about the policy assignment, and here comes a truck again. Okay, so it's two parts. One is legislation that was enacted in the last 5 years. It can be legislation that was enacted longer than 5 years ago if it's been reauthorized in the last 5 years. There's a big piece of legislation that sometimes students like to talk about for this course, but I won't give it away. All right, and then the second part is that you need to follow something that's currently um, in process, that has been proposed in either a state legislative area or at the federal level. So I've given you a website to track for federal uh, acts that have been introduced. There are ways you can track at the state level, or you could look at something internationally. I'm fine with that too. Okay. Any questions on that assignment as it gets closer, please let me know. That's due June 17th. All right, the next big assignment is the evidence-based practice fact sheet or brief. You'll hear me use those two words, probably interchangeable. This is an assignment probably like nothing you've done before at the MSW program. You are going to be creating a two-page handout fact sheet that you'll save as a PDF on an evidence-based practice that you will select. During the third week of the course, you're going to have a call with me, and at that point, you'll tell me what evidence-based practice you want to do. I will be a little bit later this week turning on the rest of the course beyond this first week, and there will be all kinds of search links for you on how to find evidence-based practices. I am also willing to do a phone call with you if you're not sure how to do that, to kind of talk you through it, maybe give you some ideas. And the whole point of this is to be creative. I will post some examples of ones that have been done by prior students so you know what I'm looking for. This is not like a paper. This is like something you would hand out if you were a presenter at a conference or if you're meeting with your colleagues in your community and you want to discuss a new program that's being implemented in your community. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. It's due June 24th, which is a Sunday. Then that last week of the semester, you'll do what's called evidence-based practice in the real world. Basically, that is a phone call with a classmate, and you'll each talk about your evidence-based practice and um, answer some questions that I'll post on Moodle. You'll type up a brief it's usually a couple pages, 1, 2, 3 page summary, and you will submit one summary, but you'll post it twice so that it gets posted for each student so that I can grade it appropriately. So you only need to do one summary, but post twice. Okay, then the next thing is kind of like a participation grade. Um, there's a getting to know you survey. Some of you I may follow up with a call, and then a mid-semester check-in where I would like to get to know who you are, where you are in the program, what you've done professionally, what your interest is in human sexuality. That's the beginning part, the getting to know you. And then the mid-semester check-in is a time when we'll talk about the EBP assignment, the memoir you're going to read, and just touch base on how the semester's going and what you would like to see covered in the remaining 3 weeks. The last assignment is a book assignment. You're going to select a memoir autobiography related to human sexuality. Again, you'll go to my Amazon. You go to Amazon, you'll look for me under search for lists, and you need to let me know what memoir you pick because I try to limit it to no more than 2 people reading the same memoir per section of the course. So since we have 2 sections, I could have it across sections. No, let me think that back. I don't want to do that. 2 people reading the same book because our chat will go across sections. So if there's something that you definitely know you want to read, you want to let me know as soon as possible. And then the memoir will be discussed during our final chat session. So there's the breakout of the points. I believe that equals 100. And that's it for the syllabus. So now I'm going to go to Moodle, and this will be turned on by the time you get notice of this video. So you'll see at the top there are course announcements, just reminding you about my cell phone. and that when you are saving files, please save them as your name and make sure that your name is inside, like on the papers, on the assignments. Here's our Marywood policies. Here's our syllabus that I went over. And I will be posting stuff. You won't see this on your side, but I'll be posting a folder called Good Stuff that will just have some extra material for you. There will be a welcome video part 2, which I'm recording right now. And then here is the week of May 21st. So the readings are the text, chapter 1 through 3. I've scanned those for those I know who don't have the book yet. And if you don't receive the book by this upcoming Friday, please let me know what you're hearing, if it's being shipped. Okay. You want to complete the Getting to Know You questionnaire as soon as possible, so I have a sense of who's in the course. So you're reading chapters 1 through 3. You're going to find that this textbook is very user-friendly, easy read. Then I have posted 6 additional resources. Some are internet publications, some are articles, so you're going to want to take a look at those. Then here's where you'll post the Getting to Know You assignment. Here is the questionnaire, and here is our first forum. This week's forum, the initial discussions are due by Friday at midnight. You need to respond to at least two classmates by Sunday at midnight, and then answer any questions asked to you by Tuesday at midnight. This forum is 2 parts. The first is a sexual history questionnaire. You're going to respond to this questionnaire that's listed down here. Respond to as many questions as you feel comfortable answering. And I'm not going to say any more than that. And then there are some questions here that you're going to answer, but based both on that questionnaire and then on the readings. And then part 2 is a complete the social work, comfort, and attitude questionnaire and upload it as a Word or PDF. I've debated, this is the first time I'm using this questionnaire, and I've debated whether you should do the questionnaire first before you do the other part of the forum or do it after. And I haven't decided yet which way is the right way. So I'll be curious. Maybe some of you will do it first and give me some thoughts, and some of you will do it after. And we'll see how this sexual history questionnaire works. It's the kind of thing I would do in a class if we were in person, and then we would talk about the questions. So that's really why I want you to post in the forum just kind of a comment about any of the questions that you're asked. Okay, and that's it for this first week. And then I will turn on the rest of the weeks in Moodle, as I said, by later in the week. Now, before I wrap up, where am I? 8 minutes, so I got some time. I do need to tell you what's going on in my life. I am currently physically at my partner's parents' house out near Erie, Pennsylvania. My partner has metastatic breast cancer. Her name's Jeannie, and she's 51. And last week, we brought her by ambulance from Scranton to out near Erie so that we could do hospice care for her at her parents' house. So we have an 11-year-old together that we adopted through foster care, and she has 2 adult children from a previous marriage who are 25 and 28, and they live out also in Western Pennsylvania. So Jalen, our 11-year-old, and I have been here since last Monday night when we arrived, and things are progressing, quickly. And so I will be here through this process with her. Fortunately, this is an online class, so I have a lot of flexibility to be able to do this. And I think in some ways this course will be a good distraction for me when I just need a break, from where things are here. But I say that because I just believe in, letting people know what's going on. And so if you have something going on in your own life that you want to share with me, I'm happy to know that and, support you in whatever way I can. But also, it may just impact a little bit my response time to things through it, I think, especially the first couple weeks of this course. But that doesn't mean that I don't want you to reach out to me, please. Last night I was responding back to text messages up until almost 11 o'clock last night, with people saying, hey, they got my email. And as I said, that was just, a nice distraction for me. So if you have any questions, how much? Oh, I got 5 minutes left. Let me just tell you a little bit because some of you don't know me. I've been teaching at Marywood since 1995 in one capacity or another, so 2005, 20 some years. I came to Marywood as an undergrad in 1986. I too am 50, so if you want to do the math, if you know the Scranton campus at all, we're in Immaculata Hall. I'm in Immaculata 202, which was actually my freshman dorm room. So 2 years ago, when the School of Social Work moved to new offices, I moved back home, so to speak. I had my work history is that I worked initially with persons with developmental disabilities who had exited Pennhurst Institution in Philadelphia, who were court ordered back to their county of origin. And I did a lot of work around that in the 80s. Then I was the first HIV case manager for Northeastern Pennsylvania, probably before many of you were born. The grant was funded for 1990, and I worked there for a couple years. And it was a time before medications were approved when a diagnosis of HIV was really a diagnosis of AIDS. And many people were coming home to Northeastern Pennsylvania to, for their end of life. It was a time of fear and oppression and just, but also activism. And so a very eye-opening and life-changing moment for me. Sorry, I'm saying a lot here. And then I worked with military families for 4 years, traveling worldwide, looking at what was life like for military families, both young service families and those with teens. And then I worked at United Neighborhood Centers in Lackawanna County for a little over 10 years and really grew their community services program. Started with a staff of just a couple people, and when I left, we had over 20 employees in that department. Most of the growth was in housing and homeless services, but also batterers intervention, programs for teens and youth at risk, and other just crisis programs. I left there and I went to a community intervention center for a short period of time on a grant that they had for just a little while working with chronic homeless. And then when that ended, I went to Women's Resource Center and did both grant management, program management, and crisis work. I'm one of those folks that doesn't mind getting a phone call at 2 in the morning to go out and respond, to a hospital call. During that time, I was blessed with the opportunity to become a foster parent. And so about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I guess now, a young person that I had known for a long time experienced a situation where she went to college as a freshman, and when she came home at Christmas break, the people that she had lived with previously as foster parents since the age of 16 no longer wanted to be foster parents. So at that point in time, I always say God has a plan, and things fell into place, and she came to live with me through the foster. I became approved as a foster parent. And once you're approved as a foster parent, any of you who know children and youth know that they'll just keep calling and asking. So over approximately 6-year period of time, I had 28 youth who lived with me. I became permanent legal guardian to one and adopted another. So I have a lot of experience in that area. And most recently, I teach half-time at Marywood as a pro rata faculty, and my other half-time hat is that I am the staff person for the Eastern Pennsylvania Continuum of Care for the HUD homeless programs, which means I am the liaison staff person, go-to person for 33 counties in Eastern Pennsylvania who are the non-entitlement counties. And so I do that for about 20 hours a week. All right, so I'm just about to run out of time. I've given you a brief intro into who I am. I look forward to getting to know all of you. I'm sure I've forgotten something. I've been teaching this course for about 15 years. I'm really excited about the book we're using because it's really the first book for social workers. Although I know there's a lot more than what's in the book that we'll cover in this course. So I think as I'm just about to hit 15 minutes, I'll wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.